Hi, this is Geoff.
Hey Geoff, it's Dennis from the Australian Rock Show. How are you?
Hey, good. How's it going, Dennis?
Look, I'm doing great. So great to chat with you today. And many of us here in Australia are excited that finally, after so many years, the Avantasia project is hitting stages in Melbourne and Sydney next month. And to get everyone in the mood, we kicked off this show with the tune Alchemy, which of course features your powerful vocals and is lifted off the latest Avantasia album titled Moonglow. Can I start by sharing with you some fan comments I found online about Alchemy?
Yeah, sure.
Which state, this is the masterpiece of 2019. Definitely the best song on Moonglow for me. Tate at his best. Geoff is killing it. What a voice, mind-blowing. You know, fans often tell it like it is, and those are some pretty strong endorsements.
Yeah, that's nice of them to say that, and it sounds like people are really enjoying the show, which I think it's hard not to. It's a really good show and very entertaining, and the band is just on every night. The singers are all really great singers, and so gosh, everybody that I know personally that's seen the show and loves it, and they're very excited about telling everybody about it.
You recently left a comment online which stated having the time of my life with the show, and it seems like you really are.
Yeah, it's hard not to, because it's a wonderful tour with really great, fun-loving people who are excited and happy to be there every day performing and traveling together. It's a lot of laughs, actually. Quite a group of interesting artists, I have to say.
Okay, now devoted Geoff Tate fans will be aware that you were classically trained by world-renowned vocal instructor Maestro David Kyle. All these years later, is there one significant thing which you learnt from Maestro Kyle which you still carry with you, especially, say, with something like Avantasia?
Oh, good question. Yeah, well, David Kyle was an amazing instructor and teacher, and although I didn't take very many lessons from him or study with him for very long, I did have some valuable lessons, mostly in confidence and expressing yourself creatively. He had a way of instilling in you this feeling of confidence in what you do, and it's really kind of stuck with me, I guess, all my life. Really, his instruction was the thing I needed at just the right moment in my life, you know. And it really helped me out and benefited me greatly.
Okay, you know, a lot of the press makes mention of your 4-octave range, and this makes me want to ask you, at what age or stage in your life were you aware that you possessed powerful vocals and could indeed sing? Was it one particular moment?
Well, kind of. I was a keyboard player to start with. That's what I started out playing in rock bands. And I never was a singer for several years, really. And the band I was in at the time, the lead singer had to move. He was still living with his parents, and his parents were moving to a different part of the country, so he left the band. And we were just sitting around, and the rest of the band was sitting around in the rehearsal room, and we started kind of jamming on a song, and I just started absent-mindedly singing, and the guitar player stopped and said, "You can sing." I said, "I can?" Yeah, I guess I can sing. And he goes, "Well, try this one." And he played a Rush tune that we played, and I could sing that, so I got the job. So that was like this significant moment when I discovered that, you know, I could do that.
Now, Geoff, I do want to go back in time, if I may, and look over a couple of things, starting with the Hearing Aid project from 85. I guess back then you would have been around 25, 26 years old. What was that experience like? And am I correct in assuming Ronnie James Dio had invited you to be a part of it all?
Yeah, well, Ronnie Dio was really influential with me and with Queensryche in general, and invited us on our first ever European tour. And she really showed us a lot of, how to be on the road and how to survive on the road, and some pretty valuable lessons. And then after the tour, I got a call and he invited me to participate in the hearing aid project, and which I readily accepted. And we all met up in Los Angeles at I think it was A&M Studios, and I walked in to do my part, and Ronnie was in the control room and invited me in, and shook my hand and, hey, welcome, this is great, and here's the track. And I didn't really spend much time in the control room because he was under a time limit. He walked me out to a performance room, and we set up the microphone and got my headphone mix going. And then he goes, okay, I'll be in the control room, and just let's have a go at it and see what happens. And I said, sure. And I happened to look up and through the glass, and I could see all these amazing musicians and singers in the control room watching me. Mm-hmm. People like Rob Halford was there, and Eric Bloom from Voice of Cult, and Ted Nugent, and all these really accomplished players and singers. And so there I was under the microscope, so to speak, and I was really scared. It was a petrifying moment, really. So I just kept my sunglasses on, closed my eyes, and let it rip,
That's cool. It's a cool story. Now, I saw you with Queensryche 1991 at Donington in the UK, Monsters of Rock show. Came on after the Black Crows, if I recall, on a sunny Saturday afternoon. Blistering set, and for me, a highlight of the day. Anything from that particular gig stand out, Geoff?
Oh, the whole tour was fantastic. Yeah. I can't really remember anything specific about that particular show, but I remember that the tour went to a lot of places, and played some huge shows, really big shows. 70,000, 80,000 people at these shows, and it was really a phenomenal tour to be on. I'm very honored still to this day to be part of it. I'm glad people remember it because it was a very special tour.
Okay, look, although I love digging into an artist's past, 1991 was a long time ago and we are short on time. It is 2019 and this year looks set to be an amazing time to be a Geoff Tate fan, as the self-titled album from Sweet Oblivion, which again features you on vocals, has a release date of June. The first taste of the record is a tune called True Colours, which sounds amazing. What can you tell us about that collaboration?
I can't tell you a lot about it. It was a wonderful collaboration with Simone Mulirani, a amazing guitar player from Italy, and we wrote some songs together and headed off and made the record. And it's coming out soon, and I'm really happy that it's finished, and looking forward to hearing what people think of it.
It's an album filled with fun, and I believe a lot of the fans who dig the old Queensryche sound will enjoy this one. You stated recently that's got a few folks excited. Yeah, good. I'm glad. It's very guitar heavy. So if you like, very forward heavy guitars, it's your kind of record. Okay, and you're back in Australia soon. Fond memories of your first Australian visit back in July of 2006 with Queensryche? Is that when it was? 2006. It was. Wow. That's like a lifetime ago. It's way too long. I'm glad to be coming back, though. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. I hope you get I know you're a wine enthusiast. I hope you get a chance to visit some of our wonderful wineries. Well, every time I go to Australia, which has been, twice now, I think, I tried to go to different wineries there because you guys are pretty renowned with your wine now, That's great regions and really nice vintages and labels. So it's a treat. And I think the promoters, they always want to impress me with Australian wine for some reason. I don't know why, but they keep, bringing me these amazing bottles and saying, try this one. See if you like this one better. It's like a game. It's fantastic. I love it. Okay, look, a couple of random ones, and then we'll let you get out of here. So I think Queensryche did some AC/DC supports, and I know that drummer Simon Wright, as many fans will know, did time with you in Operation Mindcrime some years later. Fond memories of opening shows for AC/DC, Geoff? Oh, heck yeah. One of the all-time greatest bands ever, and one of the nicest bands for us, at least, as an opening act. They treated us incredibly well, and gave us full use of their stage and sound and lights, and never said
no, you can't go there or do anything. They gave us full run of their whole show. Very generous, and Brian, bless his heart, he always picked up the bar tab every time.
That's good stuff. We're going to close out this show with a song of yours that dates back to the very early 80s, and it is indeed one of your very best, with vivid lyrics such as "A light mist in the air, dark clouds laughing at me in silence, casting shadows through my hair." Were you reading or being inspired by anything in particular at the time you wrote "The Lady Wore Black"?
Oh, gosh. I was inspired by the times I was in right then. That was the beginning of the band's songwriting attempts, and we were in the studio for the first time together, and it was a pretty magical time. I've got really, really fond memories of that time. And I think the lyrical approach was definitely inspired by where I was living at the time, which was Seattle, kind of known for being a bit dark and gloomy. Mm-hmm. And it was definitely that time of year, in the fall, when things get kind of foggy and misty out, and that's when the song was written.
That self-titled first record was released September 83. Looking back with hindsight and with all the experience you've gained since then, would you have done anything differently with that debut EP?
Oh, gosh. I don't usually want to change things musically on records that I've done. I'm pretty happy with them when they come out, And I think probably the only one that I have any regrets regarding is the Warning album, because we didn't get to finish that one as a mix. Our own fault, really. The band had, spent too much money, and we'd gone way over budget, so the record company took it out of our hands, and they had some outside mixer mix the record, and we didn't get our fingers on it, so to speak. We didn't get to, give any input to the mixing direction and that kind of thing. So we learned a valuable lesson to, stay on budget and stay on time with your commitments, and so therefore we wouldn't have to be in that situation again, So that's the only one I really regret, just simply because we didn't get to actually finish it,
Geoff, we're nearly out of time. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been wonderful chatting with you. Moonglow is the name of the latest album for the Avantasia project. Tour dates are Sunday, May the 12th at the Metro Theatre in Sydney, and then Tuesday, May 14th at the Forum in Melbourne. Before you go, every guest on our show gets to choose a song by an Australian band. What would you like to choose and why?
Gosh, I don't know who's Australian anymore, who's not. But I know what AC/DC is. So I guess I'd take an AC/DC track. I think Thunderstruck. How about that one? I like that track. That's
a fantastic choice. Thanks very much for your time today. Look forward to seeing you on tour in Australia soon.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for the interview. I appreciate it.